All righty, so it's 5 after, so we will go ahead and get started. Good morning or mid-morning, if anyone would like to call it that. My name is Sam Thompson. I am the field sales trainer with RingCentral, supporting this particular region, and I'm really, really happy to be your Vanna for today. So I'm not the actual presenter. Ken Blanc is our presenter for the day, but I'm going to be handling logistics and things like that in the back end. So a couple of things before we get started. Across the bottom of your screen, you'll see a chat, and some of you have already found the chat box. If you'd like to talk to us, please utilize the chat. Let us know what you're thinking and how things are going. If you have specific questions, I'm going to ask you to use the Q&A. So to the left of the chat box, on the bottom of the screen, there's a Q&A. We ask that you put your questions there so that we can track the questions, but also so that we'll be answering them in there. Some of the questions we'll answer in there. Some of those we'll toss to Ken to answer live. But if we should get a stumper question, and sometimes it happens, but if we get a stumper question, we want to make sure that we know what that question was so that we can get an answer, and then we'll cascade it out to all of you after we find the correct answer from our SE community. So with that being said, just another reminder, talk to me in the chat, ask me questions in the Q&A, and thank you all for being here. There will be $20 Grubhub gift cards sent to you so that you can purchase lunch. Those will be sent after the presentation is over, so stick around. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Stephanie Rubin and let her give you guys a warm welcome.
Thank you, and hello everyone. Thank you for joining us today. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Stephanie Rubin, and I'm the Director of Collaboration Business at 2020 Technology. Welcome back to all our returning and new attendees. This will be our last webinar until the new year. However, starting in the new year, keep an eye out for an email from me with our January and February lineup. And for those of you who missed our announcement at our last webinar, we have some big news. 2020 Technology is now a part of GCOM, which is based out of New York. We are going to continue to operate as 2020 Technology for the time being, but in case you see any new emails coming through with the name GCOM, that is due to our acquisition. And for those of you who are new, I'd like to give you a quick introduction to who 2020 Technology is, and we are located in Ashburn, Virginia, right outside Washington, D.C., and our core competencies are helping organizations develop cloud migration strategies and leading domestic and global cloud collaboration deployments since about 2013. We're also longtime partners with RingCentral, and we are RingCentral certified implementation partner. After this webinar, if you'd like to learn more about RingCentral's offerings, please contact me. I'm going to put my contact information in the chat here in a minute. And this session will be recorded and posted on our YouTube channel, and I will email out the link to everybody. And before I turn this over to Ken, I just would like to let everybody know that today is my birthday. And in lieu of everyone sending me any gifts, I would instead like to request that you answer my phone calls or reply to my emails and let me know that you would love to learn more. So thank you again, and I'm turning it over to Ken.
Hey, Stephanie, thank you so much, and happy birthday. That's
Thank
fantastic. My wife's birthday is in December as well. So congratulations on that. Yeah, so thanks also 2020 Tech for having us on here. We definitely appreciate your partnership with us. And yeah, today, guys, we're going to go over some really cool things about Microsoft Teams. It's, it's definitely a major conversation piece for a lot of people these days. And, what really drove a lot of this is, and I'm going to start sharing my screen here, what really drove a lot of this, at least from what we've seen in the industry, is just people, working from home a lot more, just working remote. And a lot of people had to scramble when everything got shut down back in March, April. And if you weren't already on RingCentral, I got to put a little shameless plug for us in here that, we were already, teed up and ready to go from working from anywhere, from any device. That's kind of been our mantra, for quite some time, but really focusing on it this year with the RingCentral app and RingCentral video. But there are people that want to be in the Teams environment. They already have Teams level licenses, whether it's an E5 or an E3 level licenses, and their users are familiar with the environment, right? They're used to chatting, they're used to doing video and audio conferences through Teams. But yet, maybe with going with RingCentral, kind of positioning it that way, it really brings in, I think, a much better carrier side experience, and also, just really the capabilities that the RingCentral Office platform provides within the Teams environment. We are not strangers with Microsoft. We've really been developing with them for quite some time. This slide I really like because it really lines up really all the different integrations that we do have with Microsoft. And I'm going to kind of go backwards here. I'm going to start on the right-hand side instead of the left. Dynamics, we have an integration with Dynamics 365. Skype for Business, which we know is sunsetting if it's not already out. I haven't even used it in over a year, but we had a really good tight integration with Skype for Business. We still have the Outlook plugin. I think a lot of people forget about the Outlook plugin. Really what it does is it embeds into your local Outlook client on your computer, embeds a RingCentral soft phone inside of the right-hand pane in your Outlook email. You've got access to your global address list in there, and everything is integrated. So if you want that kind of experience as a user within email, you can do that. And same thing for Office 365. So you can do the same thing there, and the Office 365 is the browser version. So we're really using the WebRTC soft phone in that environment. And we're actually going to show you that today too in the demonstrations as far as leveraging the Office 365 soft phone in a Teams environment. So you'll get to see that as well. And then lastly, Teams, call with WebRTC or the RingCentral phone app. And then of course the one that everybody really wants because they want to maintain and keep that experience of the user by using the Microsoft Teams phone embedded into Teams. That is also affectionately known as direct routing. So I'm going to pop this open a little bit further. So this will just give you some screenshots of how we integrate with Microsoft Teams. Sort of already gone over that, but RingCentral for Microsoft Teams, the desktop client. I'm going to demo all these for you, so you're going to get to see this several different times, but just to help you capture each different one, because there are three. So RingCentral for Teams. Now, the one on here on the left-hand side is a plugin. It is we call it a bot, but some people like to use the term plugin. That's fine. Really what it's doing, and when I show it to you here, is you have to use another RingCentral soft phone. In the photo here, it's showing the RingCentral phone, and I'm going to use the same soft phone. So you still have to have a call through point on RingCentral to be able to handle outbound calls. But really what it's doing is the bot reaches into the contact card of the Teams user, pulls up their phone number, you can click on it, and then it will make a call out sort of in a ring out fashion or a call out fashion through the RingCentral phone. The middle one here, the Office 365 Chrome WebRTC phone, quite honestly, is my favorite integration for Teams. The reason being is that as a RingCentral user, you can have the Office 365 soft phone embedded, really, and it floats around. You can move it around inside of your Teams environment, but it gives you access directly to the other features that the RingCentral license brings, which is your text messages, your voicemail messages, your faxes, and of course it's also tied into your contacts. So you can pull up your Office 365 contacts, you can pull up your company contacts associated with the RingCentral phone system. So for me, it's the smoothest and the nicest integration. What I hear from a lot of partners and really users is they have not really focused a bunch on really using cloud-based Teams. They seem to gravitate more towards the local client, and therefore that's why we have the different offerings. All right, so the last one here on this page is going to be the Teams direct routing. And again, this is where you start being able to as a user in Teams, be able to use the Microsoft Teams phone, soft phone, built into the Teams platform. It also includes the capability for mobile. So that's a key thing too. If you're in Teams and you still want to be able to receive calls and make calls from your mobile side, you can do that to the direct routing option with RingCentral as well. How are we doing so far, Sam?
We are doing good.
Okay. All right. So RingCentral Cloud PBX for Microsoft Teams. So again, also referred to as Microsoft Teams Direct Routing, provides a native Teams calling experience, and it facilitates a phone call inside of the Teams user interface. And really, again, the key advantages for users, actually for admins in this case, is they already know how to administer their Teams environment, so it's a familiar look and feel for the administrator. But why would you want to really use RingCentral in this environment? So with the RingCentral Office platform, you're really getting our carrier grade network on the backside. So our global network, our PBX capabilities, so you can use the auto attendant routing features within RingCentral Office. You can set up still call groups and queues. So if you have agents that are working inside of Teams and you want to group them together through RingCentral Office in a call queue, you can do that as well within the in the Teams direct routing environment. Native integrations, right? We already talked about Dynamics, but we also have integrations where you could use Teams in conjunction with, say, Salesforce if you wanted to. So there's some really cool things that you could do from an integration perspective. Real-time data-backed decisions. So what we mean by that is the strength of RingCentral's analytics portal. The portal, if you haven't been in there in a while, we've made some extreme advances to it this year. So we've got now the adoption and usage section for leaders of the business, where you can really see, what tools of the RingCentral platform your users are adopting to and using. And simple to adapt and use, the very last one, right? It's a user experience that they're familiar with. It's the soft phone that they've possibly been using on the Microsoft side. It's their Teams environment, so there isn't much of a change for the user in that perspective. So it makes it easier to deploy. So last piece here, what's one of the biggest things that we all go through is app overload, right? I don't know about you guys, but I'm trying here this last quarter to clean my app life up and get rid of stuff that I haven't used, kind of like old clothes. If you look in your closet and you haven't worn something in a year, you get rid of it, right? You donate it, do what you're going to do with it. I'm trying to do the same thing with my application. So we're trying to reduce that app overload, make it simpler for the users. And that's what really unified communications should do. It should be easy to use. It should allow the user to use different endpoints that works best for them. And then also be able to keep them connected and be able to be collaborative. I mean, that's really the things that we're looking for in a UCaaS application. So you're going to be saving time and you're going to be more productive. And again, working in the tools of your choice. All right, so benefits of RingCentral Cloud PBX. So we've got call control that we talked about, IVR and call handling, a comprehensive APIs for telephony. We have the enterprise PBX capabilities. So again, you can deploy, just an example, like I use the auto attendant IVR capabilities, as well as call queuing and groups. We also have a global network. So you can take advantage of our global office countries. So if you have customers that are globally located and they want to deploy Teams and they want to use direct routing, that's definitely a supportable feature within the RingCentral platform. Our 5 nines of availability, I think the stability of our carrier grade network, the redundancy that we have put in place, the active environment that we've deployed, really solidifies the foundation of the RingCentral core network. Native PBX integrations to CRM and businesses. We had mentioned Salesforce, but in here also Zendesk and ServiceNow, and don't forget Dynamics is also part of that. And then call recordings, right? That RingCentral Office platform supports not only automatic call recording, but on-demand call recording. So you would still have that capability. And then again, lastly, the analytics portal with the rich analytics. So everybody asks me before I go into the flash and dash about licensing, right? So we're not charging anything additional for the RingCentral side, right? So there is no additional fees for RingCentral direct routing on a monthly cost. I just checked the product matrix. You do need to be on a standard or higher RingCentral Office license. So this wouldn't be supported in the essentials, which we don't sell a ton of, but standard license and above. And again, this is a key differentiator for us because there are other competitors out there that offer a direct routing solution, but they truly are charging an additional per monthly cost to the user on the carrier side or the provider side.
Hey, Ken.
Yeah.
We have a couple of questions in the Q&A. So the first one is, will the Teams meeting be the client and we would not see the RingCentral meetings client?
In direct routing, that is correct. You're basically what you are is you're using the soft phone capabilities, and then it's probably really more so the IT person or the company is going to have you use conferencing and video through Teams. However, if you want to utilize the RingCentral video meetings platform as an example, there is nothing preventing you from logging in and using it through the browser. You could also use the RingCentral app if you want to for running your meetings. If you wanted to do something of that nature, you can, of course, in the versions that I'm going to show you, you've got access to RingCentral videos as far as the bot or the plugin is concerned, or actually the Office 365. But the direct routing option does have some limitations as far as access to those particular other features of the RingCentral platform. So you would have to, in a way, still use two applications if you really wanted to get into a RingCentral video call. Hopefully that answered the question. Okay. Yeah.
And we had one more question. So in the case call recording, is that the only audio, or in Teams is that audio and video?
It would only be audio recordings for as far as is what I was mentioning there. So it's only going to be the voice side. It has nothing to do with recording a video or screen share. That's a separate recording.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah, and guys, I wanted to just show you. Sorry, I apologize. It's a little blurry. I had to go grab this from another presentation, and it's a little blurry there, so I do apologize. But you've got the E1, E3, and E5 comparisons in here. So it really talks about direct routing with Microsoft Teams, and really the add-ons that you would need to do dependent upon what you want to do with the environment. So you have to have the phone system. So that $8 is required on the E1 and the E3. So they have to make sure that they have the required phone system, because that's what enables the Microsoft Teams phone in the direct routing option. So you've got to do that. And then you have to decide as a user or a company, are you going to use audio conferencing through Teams, or are you going to use RingCentral for audio conferencing? And the same thing, of course, for video. And of course, then you've got the additional dialing plans if you want to, depending upon where you want to use those features, right? So if you, like, say you're on E3 and you want to use RingCentral, so you get a RingCentral standard license, and then you're going to pay the $8 on Microsoft plus the $20 for the E3 license. So you've got the E3 license plus the phone system. And then if you're going to not use the rest of that, you don't need the Teams audio conferencing or the dialing plan, right? Because that's going to be supported in the RingCentral side, and you you would probably be using then again the RingCentral conferencing platform instead of using Teams. So it does get a little convoluted as far as licensing is concerned, but just remember the main requirement in order to use RingCentral and direct routing is the phone system fee here. And if you're already at an E5 license, it's going to already be included in there, so you don't have to worry about the additional $8 on the licensing. And then again, we just got our standard rack rate pricing below for RingCentral Standard, Premium, and Ultimate level seats, and that's just rack rate pricing. Guys, there are some install processes that you have to go through. Pro Services is required to set up direct routing only for Teams. The Office 365 and the plugin bot, you do not need to worry about Pro Services and scoping out a scope of work and going through the items that are bullet pointed here. You only need this if you're going to use the RingCentral Cloud PBX for Microsoft Teams, okay? Just, this is only for the direct routing piece. Just want to make sure that's clear, because I know we're throwing a lot of stuff up here and there's 3 different ways to use Teams and it gets a little confusing. So I just want to make sure that you guys understand the Pro Services piece is absolutely required. I spelled training wrong there. Sorry about that. It's absolutely required for the direct routing option for Teams. And there is a cost to that. So the deployment cost, these are one-time fees. So the following one-time fees will be charged. So there's a 1,500 base setup fee and a $5 per user configuration fee for direct routing. So that's if you were to go full bore, go with RingCentral, and then go with Microsoft Teams direct routing option. You can do proof of concepts. We will support up to 25 users for 30 days. Our Pro Services team will bill for the $500 for setup fee only, and that would be all that would be needed from a proof of concept. A couple of little caveats there if you want to extend it beyond 30 days. And then one kind of nice caveat is if you have a customer that does convert to a full licensed RingCentral customer with direct routing, then the Pro Service costs will be credited in a new statement of work that goes into then the final deployment of the customer's environment. All right, so that is the end of slides. Let's get into something funner, which is actually demoing. Yes.
Before you start the demo, we do have one question in the Q&A.
Yeah.
Is voice participation available using Alexa or Google devices, and maybe video using Alexa Echo Show?
You mean through Teams itself? I think maybe is that what the question is? I mean, I know
think that's what the question is. So can the voice piece be used through those devices like it can on the RingCentral Office version of the desktop?
That's something I have to take as a parking lot item and go, look, I do not know.
Okay, I will parking lot that question.
Yeah, thank you. That was a good question. I don't know about you guys, but I'm not a fan of having that technology in my house for some reason. But that's okay. I know a lot of people like those types of things. But yeah, Sam, I'll if you'll parking lot that for me, I will go research it and find out.
Thank you.
For sure. Yeah, you're welcome. That was a good question. All right, so we've gone over a lot of stuff. So let's kind of pull it back and go back to the beginning here. Remember, we talked about the 3 different integration options that we have for Teams, right? So we have Teams plugin or the bot, we have the Office 365, and we have the Teams direct routing. And Sam, we should probably, maybe ask some quiz questions here too at the end and see if people caught on to the differences between them here. So this one here that I'm showing on my screen is the Teams client. So I run a Mac, but you can run it also on a PC. This is Teams local on my computer. And so what I've done is I've gone out to the developer site and I've installed the RingCentral bot or plugin into my Teams local environment. So it looks like Teams. The only thing that's different is I have this RingCentral bot in here. And so, you know, I could type in a question and the bot's going to pop up and say, well, what can you do with the bot, right? You can start a RingCentral conference call or a RingCentral meeting. You can show your RingCentral commands. You can call someone from their contact card. You can actually schedule a RingCentral video, and you can launch a RingCentral video through the plugin integration to the Teams client, and I'll call it Teams client local, so you know that I'm talking about that it's locally installed. Now, if you remember in the PowerPoint, we had a picture of the RingCentral phone in there. And remember I said that you had to have another RingCentral soft phone endpoint in order to be able to make calls through. I chose to use the RingCentral phone. You could use the RingCentral app. It will work as well as an endpoint here on the RingCentral side. Most likely people would still use the phone right now, especially, you know, because inbound calls are going to have to come into the soft phone. This is really more of a bot to help the user be able to make outbound calls. So I have my little contacts in here. I've got Aaron and Ashley and a few other people in here. I'm going to go ahead and click on Aaron's contact. And at the very, very bottom, and I apologize, it may be kind of small to see, but there is an R down here, and I'll circle it with my little pointer button. So if I click on that R, it's going to pop open the bot. And what the bot's doing, like we talked about, it's going in, reaching into Aaron's Teams contact card, and now it's given me the information associated with Aaron. So I can click on the phone right here, and it's going to do a call out through the RingCentral phone desktop soft phone over here on the right-hand side. So if I go ahead and click that, it's going to pop out, and there goes the call right there. So, and you can hear his voicemail. It says, hello, you've reached the voicemail of Aaron. So that's how the outbound calling would work in a Teams local bot or plugin. You can schedule a RingCentral video through here as well. So you can pop up the bot. I apologize, it does take a second to pull up. So we've got all of my meeting information in here as far as being able to, who I'm inviting. In this case, it's Aaron, the time, the date and the time, the duration. And then you've got, you can go ahead and schedule this to your calendar, right? So pretty simple to go into there and be able to actually schedule a meeting. So again, making it somewhat easy to be able to do that. If I want to just go ahead and launch a RingCentral video screen share conference, I can pull up this conference card and I can hit the video button right there, and it actually is probably going to pop up on another screen over here, which it did. So let me pull this over. So what it did is it launched the RingCentral video platform, and I can go ahead and open that up. And it's going to pull open my RingCentral video right there. So within that bot, it's actually not bad. It's a pretty decent way of being able to incorporate all the things that you need to do. I think the biggest complaint that I hear from people is you still have to have the other soft phone or use the RingCentral app as a call through endpoint still within the Teams local bot. I'll stop there for a second. I saw something pop up on chat. Sam, do I have a question?
Yes. Can the video calling with RingCentral be disabled?
Can it be? Yes. I do not know if it would be removed from here as being an icon, but within, if you are, say, a premium level license on the RingCentral Office platform, you can have customized roles and permissions, so you can actually disable video access there. I have not tested it to see if it actually removes the video icon within the bot. It may still be there, but it just won't do anything.
And we had one other question. Can you integrate with Microsoft E2 and A3?
Let's see, E2. I have not seen that. I'm going to have to reach out to our dev team on that. I have not seen anything about E2 or what was the other license you said, A3?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'll have to take that as a parking lot one. I do not know.
Okay, I'll actually throw it into the Ask an SE group right now.
Okay. Oh, perfect. Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Yep.
Carry on.
Great questions, you guys. You guys are good. Man, you stumped me twice today. Well, good thing they're generally just though on the Microsoft side. So, all right. So again, this is Teams Local, and it is the bot, the plugin. Okay. Oh, another question. It looks like popped up.
We got one more that just came in. Does RingCentral make
Okay.
use of the call section in the Teams icon on the left?
We do not. The reason why, in this case, this is in here is because our corporate network is an E5 license. And so if I were to click on any of these in here, I believe it's going to send it out directly through Teams instead of RingCentral. So you will see that right there. So in this case, with the plugin, we do not.
And Ken, I have an answer to the Microsoft Teams integration. Is voice participation available through Alexa or Google? Our integrations provide voice transport through the Teams Unified Exchange, and its integrations are not RC compatible.
All right.
I'll type it in the Q&A because it might make better sense if I show what was typed. I don't speak SE very well some days.
Sometimes I don't either. So,
oh,
shoot. All right, guys. So the second one, the middle one. So go back a few minutes ago. We were talking about the Office 365 integration. And again, I heart this one. It's my favorite one. Of all of them, truly, because I think it gives the user the best experience with RingCentral, but also still gives them, of course, all of the items that they have with their Teams environment. So, bottom right-hand corner here, I have the RingCentral Office 365 Chrome WebRTC phone embedded into here. I can move this up and down, so it's just right down here. It's just a little pin toolbar with a dot. And if you've ever seen anything with our G Suite integration, it basically looks the same way, right? It's embedded in there. So I can pop this open. It gives me my RingCentral WebRTC soft phone in here. I've got my dial pad, my call history. And again, I like this one because I get to my other RingCentral features. I can see my voicemail messages in here. I can get to my received faxes. You can't send from this one, but you can get your received faxes in here. And my text messages. So you can SMS text message inside of the WebRTC soft phone. There's a couple of other settings in here. So you can pop this open and you can schedule a RingCentral video meeting, or you can schedule a RingCentral audio conference bridge. And guys, if you didn't know, you get a 1,000-person audio conference bridge with every seat license with RingCentral. I don't know 1,000 people, but there are people out there that may need audio conference bridges that are pretty large. So you can still have access to that and use that directly within here. The settings button, you can come into here and choose your calling. Sometimes this is really important to people. I've talked to partners that want to be able to maybe do a ring out, or they want to send the call to a physical desk phone. They want the click to dial capabilities of the soft phone, but maybe they like still using a physical desk phone. So you can choose where you want that call to go through when you're making those calls. I've chosen browser, and what that means is it's going to be all embedded inside of my WebRTC soft phone here. The other thing I've mentioned here is just status. I can change my state in here very simply, just like you can on the desktop soft phone or the RC app. I can take myself in and out of queue calls here, so I've got my queuing capability. And then this Microsoft Teams setting here, if I scoot this up and you look at the orange dots up here on the upper right-hand corner of the Teams environment, I could go ahead and remove these. And what that does is it turns this to the Teams color. I guess it's purple. Some kind of purple. I don't know what Microsoft actually calls it, but now what I could do is if I'm on a contact card or a contact and I want to call them, I have the option to choose. So if I'm on an E5 license, I already have Teams phone or ready to go, I can go ahead and choose to use the Microsoft Teams there or RingCentral. Most people, if you're going to just use RingCentral, are going to go ahead and just leave those turned on to orange. And then that way what happens is I click on Aaron over here. If I hit the call button, it's just going to launch the call right through the interface right here. And that's what I love about it, is just the access that you get to all the features that come with the RingCentral feed. And you're still in the Teams environment, and it's just clean, right? If you don't want to have the soft phone up like that, you can keep it down over here and just pop it open when you need to pop it open. Same thing on an inbound call. You're going to have the 213-805-6936. I hadn't tested this morning, so this will be in. See, here comes the call. So now I have my pre-call controls in here too, where it's a familiar RingCentral solution here as far as being able to forward, reply, ignore the call, or to answer it. And there's my answered inbound call right there. And I also, of course, then have my conferencing capability, my call recording capability, and my call actions in here to transfer or to flip a call. So, like I said, for me, this is the nicest, I believe, of the three. All right, so that's WebRTC, leveraging Office 365. I see some more chats coming in. Sam?
Sorry, I was muted.
That's all right.
Is this ability to select Microsoft Call and RingCentral Call available in online Teams, the browser only, or also Teams client?
Just browser only. Great question. All right. So the last one. So we've gone through the Teams local client, the bot. We've looked at Office 365 or the WebRTC soft phone integration. Now let's go to direct routing. It's fun when you demo this because I actually have 3 different environments. So it makes it really fun to try and do this all on one computer. So here we go. So this is Teams direct routing. So this is leveraging then the last piece of it with RingCentral. So now I have the native Microsoft soft phone or the Microsoft phone embedded into the environment. Now, the way we treat this is really truly more of a third-party endpoint device to RingCentral. We are registering this particular soft phone user with their RingCentral credentials. So we've basically, if you're familiar with us and you bring like the third-party phone to RingCentral, you need to get the registration information, the opcodes, the provisioning information. All of that comes in a little card of information that you can get in the Service Web admin. So you're going to need that information to register basically this user on the direct routing side to the RingCentral platform. Now, a couple cool things that I actually like about this is I don't disfavor direct routing, trust me. One of the cool things I do like about it is that you can still use your other RingCentral soft phone application. So if you want to set up your user and their call handling and forwarding to reach out and maybe you want to use the RingCentral mobile instead of the Teams mobile, the system can still reach you on the RingCentral user side as well. So you have that advantage of being able to use those. And I'm not saying that Teams goes down or anything, but let's just say Teams has an outage or something of that nature. You can definitely still get into and use your other RingCentral services to make and receive phone calls. So it is a little bit of a DR opportunity for clients if you do talk to them. Now, like I said, I haven't heard a bunch of people having issues with it by any means. But so anyway, 720-443-7700. So I can just type into there real quick and call out. It's going to call out and go to my cell phone. I actually have my cell phone over here. And here it comes. So here comes the call. I'll just pop this over real quick so you can see it. So the call's coming over into my mobile, so I can go ahead and answer it. So I use the soft phone pad right there to make a call. It absolutely is going to look and feel close, to what the user in Teams is used to as far as the soft phone features inside of Teams. Keypad, capability to hold, transfer, park, do a consultative transfer right here. So you have those functions. Now, I'm going to go ahead and hang this up real quick, and I'm going to pop in an inbound call real quick. Actually, let's do one other thing. I'm going to grab a contact card here. So this is a user that I have on another test account, so I can go ahead and click on that. It's going to call out over to her. Now, this is the user that I was using on this soft phone here. So you can see the call popping in. I can go ahead and answer it there. So I'm getting the stadium echo effect here. Hold on. Let me get back to, there we go. So with that, I used a contact card there to call someone that was outside of my Teams environment, because that user, Lindsay, is actually on a completely separate test account. So I built a contact card for her in there, and then I can just click on that contact card and be able to make calls. Inbound wise, it's going to actually look the same as well. So let me go back over here to the phone, get that number 323. So I've got the 323 number, 426. There we go. Let me hit the speed dial on my Polycom over here. And so an inbound call is going to pop in. It takes a second here here we go. There comes the call. So Lindsay E is calling you back right here. So I've got my notifications. I can go ahead and answer that call right there and put it on mute. Let me mute my phone over there. So again, it's the same user experience that they're used to in a Teams environment. And again, that capability that you can pop into here and do the things you need to do as far as transferring or holding the call, so on and so forth. Now, one thing I have seen, I don't have it specifically staged in here right now, and I still am learning Microsoft Teams myself. I don't use it on a daily basis, but I have seen where Microsoft allows you to embed URLs into this top toolbar. And the reason why I'm bringing that up is that there is possibly the capability. Now, I haven't tested it yet, but I'm sure you guys may be able to do it out there. And if I get a chance, I will do it in my test environment. But let's just say you use the browser version of the RC app. And if you can embed that into here, if you need to get into the RC app as a browser-based application, you could potentially just have that embedded in here, click on it, and pull that browser app into your chat stream in here, right? Now, I've only seen it done like once or twice. And again, I'm not an expert by any means in the functionality of Teams, but I'm thinking that if you could do that, that gives the user in a direct routing option the capability to grab into the RingCentral app and maybe use the RingCentral video application as an example. Or if you wanted to use RingCentral video alone and you want to do screen share and video conferences, I don't see any reason why you can't put in the URL to the browser side of RCV, RingCentral Video, and have that populate inside of Teams as a browser-based website. So that's something I need to experiment a little bit more with, but I have seen that done, so that's why I brought up that option. The one that I've actually seen people do, and it's going to come up and say that with the frown face here that it refused to connect, it's because I'm not logged into the user here. So someone actually built into this test environment that we had a URL to go out to support.ringcentral.com. I think it's basically to show that you can bring in browsers-based applications inside of the Teams environment. So hopefully that made sense. I didn't want to confuse or make things more difficult there. Couple last things, voicemail. So you can use the Teams voicemail transcription in here. So if you get a call into your Teams environment on RingCentral through direct routing, you can use the Teams environment to do the transcription and have it show up here. And then, of course, the last thing is mobile. So I have my mobile pulled up here real quick. And I do have this test user loaded in here as well. So you're going to have a Teams experience on the mobile side as well. And again, it's tied through to RingCentral on the direct routing side. So I can make phone calls here. And again, it's going to be the same user experience for that particular call. So here comes the call. Again, I'm just calling this other user that I have, and I'm just using their soft phone here. So this allows you then to, let me mute that. So it's going to give you the same functionality that you would have in Teams on the mobile. So what are we doing here for time? 9:51. So Sam and Stephanie, any other outstanding questions at this point?
We do have one more question. So I was trying to get clarification, but the question is, does this feature disable the video meeting capability? But I wasn't sure what the feature was. So I've reached out.
Direct routing doesn't disable, does it disable video in Teams, or does it disable RingCentral video? I guess that would be the...
So what I'm going to do is, hold on, since we're close to the end. Okay, whatever this version of RC integrations is, direct routing Teams video. Let me do this. Hold on. I'm going to allow...
I mean, I would say, I would say that it does not disable the video screen share capability of Teams. The only thing would be is, does the customer have the right licenses to do video screen share within Teams? You could disable it on RingCentral through roles and permissions.
And Leona, you now have the ability to speak, so your mic is live.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Hi there.
Hi.
Hi.
This is all great to see, but I've noticed that the ability to do the Teams video call is masked, hidden, not visible. What happened to it?
Oh, in this actual environment here?
Yeah, because we use that all the time, and so I'm wondering, how do they play together?
You know, what's weird about this is this is an actually complete test account just for 135 SEs, and so I do not know what level of licensing that we actually have with it. So that may be why you don't see the video icon for Teams enabled within this environment.
Okay.
The other ones you saw, right? So on the Outlook,
I did.
Office 365, and the reason being is that's on our corporate RingCentral licensing. So we have E5 and everything's enabled, and that's why you saw it there. But I'll tell you what I will do is, Sam, if you'll also just send that to me, or I'll go out and find out. I really feel like the reason being is this is a very raw, limited sort of test account for us to use. And if you hadn't noticed, I'm actually using a browser version of this when it really should be Teams local, but I can't do it on a Teams local environment. So I'm emulating basically Teams local direct routing, but I'm using it in a browser. So if that makes sense, it's a little convoluted in the test environment.
I understand. Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
We have one more open question. What kind
Sure.
of cost are we talking about for each license?
So again, for us on the RingCentral side, it's just our standard, premium, and ultimate. So whatever the licensing cost is that's determined in the opportunity, that is the RingCentral side only. That's it. That's all there is, except for the pro services fees that we talked about. Then on the Microsoft side, the main thing we absolutely have to have is the phone system license, the $8 add-on. The rest of it is handled in any of the calling, any of the unlimited calls to Canada and North America, as an example, are part of the RingCentral Office license. So you don't necessarily need the calling plans associated with Teams. So we can follow up with you guys on that with that slide. I'll try and get it less blurry, but it was the slide right here. That really kind of lays out the different licensing costs from Microsoft's perspective. But again, the main thing that's required on direct routing is the phone system license here. That's what enables the soft phone in Teams. The rest of this, unless you're going to use audio conferencing through Teams, you wouldn't need that, and you don't need the dialing plans, the 12 and the 24, because that's going to be carried through the RingCentral Office seat user license.
And there was a clarification, $8 per user, I think someone's answering the question, $8 per user per month for Teams calling.
On Teams side, yes, not on RingCentral. RingCentral is just our standard licensing. The rack rate, again, the rack rates are in here, standard, premium, ultimate. It's what on the Teams side, you pay for your E1, E3, E5 license, and then you just need to make sure that you've got the phone system add-on on the Teams side in order to support the direct routing option. It is kind of a la carte on the Teams side as far as turning on and implementing, like we were talking about before, the video conferencing, audio conferencing. You don't need the calling plan. I think our marketing team put this together just so that people could see the differences or costs associated with each individual piece of the Teams side. And guys, if you have any other information and you really know the licensing on the Microsoft side, would be great to get some of that feedback from you as well. So it helps us out internally too at RingCentral in order to be able to converse with partners on the different licensing on the Microsoft side, as we don't really have insight into a bunch of that.
And I think we got one more that just popped in.
Yeah.
So Brian is letting you know that they use Teams and O365, so he's going to check on the pricing for us.
Yes, thank you. That's awesome. Appreciate it very much.
All righty.
All right. So Sam and Stephanie, hopefully we got everything covered today, and it sounds like it was pretty worthwhile. So I appreciate everyone's time today, and I'll pass it back to you guys.
All righty. Thanks, Ken. Yeah. Excellent job, by the way. Wonderful presentation today.
Thank you.
Sam, I'll just add that if there's anybody on the call who wants to learn more or deep dive into what you guys have today in terms of Teams, or if you already are a RingCentral customer and how that can work, or if you're not a RingCentral customer, you want to see, the pricing and how that will compare into using Teams versus just RingCentral by itself, definitely let me know and we can have those conversations and just dive a little bit deeper.
Thanks, guys.
And thanks, Brian. Only half of this is mine. The other half is my husband. I like to pretend that I'm like a doctorate, but.
Yeah, I have a lot of books too, but I don't know.
Alrighty, well, with that, we would like to thank everyone for coming again. And if we don't see you before the holidays, which I hope all of you will give Stephanie her birthday gift and respond to her emails and to her calls. But if we don't talk with you before the holidays, please have a wonderful and a happy holiday. Stay safe out there.
Thank you, everyone.
Take care, everyone.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Bye.